Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day for our special edition of WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Veterans resting in the HAZLETON Cemetery received their annual flags for this year's Memorial Day. WYLN's Phil Kaufman has the story.
Memorial Day is a holiday observed on the last Monday of May to honor those who died while serving in the U.S. military. We spoke with veteran Eric Olson, who continues the traditions of Memorial Day.
You know, Memorial Day weekend is a very special weekend in this country, and it's a very special one for me. As a combat veteran, it honors me to be able to place the flags on those veterans' graves that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. This year, I had myself, Mr. John Probert, a good friend of mine, an amputee from Afghanistan, Mr. Earl Granville, who's running for Congress, plus numerous other people from the community came out to put the flags on the graves. It's well over 500 here. And it's just truly an honor to put the flags on the graves of these veterans.
Originally known as Decoration Day, it started in the years following the Civil War and became an official federal holiday in 1971. In the late 1860s, Americans throughout the country began holding springtime tributes to fallen soldiers, decorating their graves with flowers and reciting prayers. That tradition continues on today.
A few years ago, a good friend of mine and World War II veteran, Mr. Ed Green, had been placing the flags on all the veterans' graves in the area, had asked me to take it over simply because he was getting up there in age and needed somebody to sort of pass the torch to. So with Memorial Day weekend coming up, it's always an honor for me to be able to come to the Vine Street Cemetery. You know, this cemetery is actually really famous. A lot of these graves go all the way back to the War of 1812. And there's countless numbers from the Civil War. I do highly recommend anybody that wants to come learn about the history here to come on by. And if you have the honor of meeting Mr. John Probert, who's the overseer of the cemetery, he is a master historian of the area. And really, I hope you can see him.
Every year at 3 p.m. on Memorial Day, a national moment of remembrance occurs. So this Memorial Day, take a moment to reflect and honor all of those who gave their lives for the United States.
You know, a lot of people don't understand the difference between Memorial Day weekend and Veterans Weekend. Memorial Day weekend is very special because it is to honor the people that gave their life for this country in times of war. Veterans Day weekend is time to honor all veterans. So just think about that when you go about your daily life, when you have your hot dogs this weekend and you're celebrating. Remember, it is a truly somber weekend, and it is a very important weekend that we honor and remember those that have given their life for this country.
Reporting in HAZLETON with WYLN News, I'm Philip Kaufman.
Thank you, Phil. Since the COVID-19 pandemic's either postponed or canceled Memorial Day events throughout our area, we'd like to share past moments of ceremonies. First up, our Julie Stefanovich rewinds it back to 2019 when HAZLETON held their ceremony at St. Gabriel's Cemetery.
Residents in HAZLETON gathered this morning at St. Gabriel's Cemetery for an annual Memorial Day service. They came to honor the brave men and women who chose to serve our country and give the ultimate sacrifice. A Mass was led by Father Mariusz Bezik of Holy Annunciation Parish, who reminds attendees that through death comes eternal life.
We first and foremost remember all those who gave up their lives, sacrificed their lives for our freedom. But also, as we come here today to celebrate this Eucharist, we remember members of our families, our friends who passed away, who are buried here at this cemetery or any other cemetery. And we come here today with this faith, with this belief in the Paschal mystery. Yes, they died, and yes, all of us are going to die. What our faith teaches us, what our faith proclaims is, death is not the end. After death, there is resurrection and eternal life.
Many celebrate the Memorial Day holiday weekend by hosting cookouts and attending outdoor activities. But Memorial Day is also a time to reflect and remember those who gave all.
I think today's service is very important that you remember those that have gone before us. You know, some gave some and lots gave all. Some gave all. It's something that you need to do. It's not, the weekend is not just about holiday picnics and family get-togethers. If you look behind me, you see the flags on the graves. These are the people that gave us the freedom we have today, and we need to take time and remember why we're here, to remember those people.
Attendees in today's service were joined by the Hazleton Fire Department and the American Legion Post 76. It was a community effort to remember the soldiers lost and the loved ones they left behind.
I'd like to tell everybody, have a good holiday weekend and stay safe, but remember that Memorial Day is not just about picnic, it's remember those that have gone before us, and also keep those that are in harm's way still fighting for us to keep our freedom, that are in overseas now, currently, our men and women in the military, and keep them in your thoughts and prayers also.
It is also a reminder to thank the veterans for their service to our country, not only on Memorial Day, but year-round. In Hazleton, for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thanks, Julie. And now, a 2019 flashback to when I was out in the field more. Here's a look at Freeland's Memorial Day festivities last year, when their annual parade accompanied their ceremonies. Freeland American Legion Post 473 and the Freeland Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 5010 hosted Freeland's annual Memorial Day parade and memorial rites at its post home and Freeland Public Park today. The early hours began with the American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars color guards and rifle squads visiting the grave sites of fallen veterans at all area cemeteries and memorial plots. The street parade, following the Legion's and VFW's services, formed on Center Street and was under the direction of Post 473 Adjunct Paul Thomas.
Everything I felt went well. The weather was great. Unfortunately, our commander couldn't be with us. He had a commitment. He had a grandson graduating. But with the exception of that, we had a very good turnout at the veterans for the cemeteries. And as you could see, the public, they supported us well.
The traditional advancement of the wreaths also took place at the Freeland Public Park Memorial. The Killed in Action wreath was advanced by Richard Karpowicz and Jackie Getz in honor of their son, Master Sergeant Paul Karpowicz, who was killed in Iraq on December 21, 2004. The POW MIA wreath was advanced by Andy Preet in honor of his grandfather, Private Gordon Fisher, an Army POW from World War II, and all our POW MIAs from all wars.
Celebrating Memorial Day is just like they say in General Logan's orders. It's about those that have passed when they were fighting in battle, and then the orphans and widows they left behind. That we need to continue to honor those people and make sure they're never forgotten.
This year, Troop 473 will be celebrating its 100th anniversary on October 12th.
I'm very proud of it. Like I say, I remember the old Legionnaires and VFW guys coming out, and it brings back good memories thinking they're the guys that started it.
Remarks were also given by State Representative Gerald Mullery and Freeland Mayor John Buda. Special readings and the presentation of certificates of appreciation were also given for heroism awards and certificates of commendation. Reporting in Freeland for Wyln News, I'm Julia Wiegand. Coming up on Wyln News, Tamaqua remembers 2018, plus PSP's 2020 Memorial dedication. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Charlie. I am 8, and here is your weather forecast for the week.
Hey everyone, this is Ting, physical therapist at Physical Therapy Balance Centers. What I'd like to share with you today is 3 very basic exercises you can do at home in the comfort of your living room, sitting down on a chair. So exercise number 1 is basically a squat. So if you have a chair, go ahead and just stand up, sit down again, stand up, sit down again. Exercise number 2 is a very simple crunch. What you do is sit on the edge of the chair, lean back, and crunch yourself up like this. You can do 10, 15 of these depending on your expert level. You can also do 3 push-ups. So I'm going to turn the chair sideways. What you can do is hold onto the chair, lift your legs out straight if you can. If you can't, do it on your knees, and just lower yourself down and push yourself back up again like that. So 3 very simple exercises you can start doing at home while you're watching TV from the comfort of your own couch.
WYLN presents Community Update on the Coronavirus, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. with rebroadcast at 7 p.m. and 10 a.m. the following morning. Brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network, PBS 39, Adams Outdoor, and WYLN TV 35. We're your local network.
We're taking it back to 2018 now, when I stopped in the borough of Tamaqua for their 150th anniversary of Memorial Day. It was a month filled with patriotic and commemorative events. So, let's take a look back to 2018 in Schuylkill County.
This flag was over my father's and my grandfather's coffin, and one day will be on mine. And this embodies what any of you who served or wore the cloth of our nation, this is what we're about. We're not looking for conquest. We're not trying to conquer other people. We are defending freedom and our way of life.
Tamaqua Remembers held its opening ceremony for the 150th anniversary of Memorial Day last night on the corner of Broad Street and South Nescopec Streets. Last night kicked off a month-long series of patriotic and commemorative events for Tamaqua.
But this is the kickoff event. This is the telling the town we're in the middle of a month now that we've been preparing for about a year and a half or so, and some good things are going to happen.
The night included guest speaker retired U.S. Army Chaplain Colonel Hank Steinhilber, the Italian-American Band of the Lehigh Valley, the dedication of a borough street, renaming it Memorial Avenue, and the unveiling of a patriotic mural featuring a list of 91 war dead from the borough, followed by their roll call.
Everything that we're doing this month is about those 91 men. Most of them were commemorated someplace, the local graveyard or some memorial someplace in the world, but there are about 9 or 10 of them up there that don't have that anyplace. They were lost overseas, or they were lost someplace in one of the civil wars, were never buried that we know of. So it's especially fitting. If their own town doesn't do this for them, who will?
May 1st was also Loyalty Day, Silver Star Service Banner Day, the beginning of National Military Appreciation Month, and Rennie the Bald Eagle made an appearance for a photo op. High school students' patriotic art will line Broad Street all month long in the windows of town businesses. For more information on Tamaqua Remembers events going on this month, visit www.tamaquaremembers.com or find them on Facebook. Reporting from Tamaqua for WYLN News, I'm Julia Wiegand. Earlier this month, a tribute video was shared to honor Pennsylvania's fallen troopers to commemorate the Pennsylvania State Police's 115th anniversary. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich had the tribute for you then and has it here for you now.
The Pennsylvania State Police honored fallen troopers on the department's 115th anniversary this Saturday. PSP was established by Governor Samuel Pennypacker on May 2, 1905. Troopers who died in the line of duty were remembered at a ceremony at the State Police Academy in Hershey. Because of COVID-19 mitigation efforts, a video tribute was held.
Today, we stand against an enemy which we cannot see, a life-threatening health pandemic. The world that we knew has changed. Our work protocols, as well as our personal daily life settings, have been affected. We continue to deal with evolving adjustments, but the fortitude and perseverance of the Pennsylvania State Police family remains unchanged.
98 fallen troopers were honored, along with those who have served and are currently serving.
We acknowledge the ultimate sacrifice they made. It is also important to memorialize how they lived their lives.
The first 2 troopers were killed in the line of duty back in 1906, and from the beginning, the PSP was destined to be an extraordinary leader in law enforcement.
All of these true heroes carry forth a torch of inspiration and present those of us who wear the gray with a message that we bear the duty and responsibility to be faithful to their spirit and honor their sacrifice by being worthy representatives of this department.
Ivanchik said that the fallen troopers have left a lasting gift of hope for the future.
However, the singular most important aspect that has never changed or faltered has been the spirit of the state trooper, the soldier of the law. This strength of character, which closely guards the department's core values of honor, service, integrity, respect, trust, courage, and duty, serves as a living tribute to our fallen family members.
Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thanks again, Julie. Coming up on NEPA's News Choice, we have Senator John Udicik again on Community and You with some elected official insight on the pandemic, plus a musical salute to our troops. Stay with us.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
My name is Mike, and I am a commercial installer at Service Electric.
My name is Leanne.
I'm Joe. My name is Kelly.
This is Priscilla with Service Electric's phone department.
We're doing our best to keep you connected to the outside world.
I'll let you guys know that we're out there.
Keep you connected with your friends, family.
Allowing people to be educated, informed.
For our customers and students working from home.
That is why it is important for us to help you
while you stay healthy and safe.
You definitely can count on us, and we will get through this together.
Looking for information on the coronavirus pandemic? Make sure it's from a reliable source. Go to WYLNTV.com and click on the Lehigh Valley Health Network banner for the real facts about the coronavirus pandemic. And watch WYLN News live at 5:30 for updates on this ongoing crisis. The source matters now more than ever. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome to Community and You here on WYLN. I'm Julia Wiegand, and today with us via iPad once again we have Senator John Udicik. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
That's great to hear. Now, you are here to talk some general pandemic talk with us today. So, let's start with those sitting at home watching right now. How do you think the unemployment compensation is being handled at this point in time?
The unemployment compensation has been overwhelmed. I think you have to start with the administration, with the Wolf administration, who when they were planning to shut down the economy, to issue a stay-at-home order, they needed to have a game plan in place for the Department of Labor and Industry, who at the time only had 100 staffers available to deal with unemployment claims. We've had 1.8 million Pennsylvanians file for claims. That's more than double that applied all of last year, applied within a window of 30 days. Clearly, they needed more staff resources and a better game plan. They're doing their best. They've ramped up to 500 staff that are available now. I commend the Secretary and his team that are trying to do their best, but there's a backlog of 38 days on email requests. Many, 25, 30% of those that are filing claims still are not getting through. It's unacceptable. We need to ramp up those services. Pennsylvanians shouldn't miss a paycheck. They shouldn't miss a mortgage payment. We need to have better planning. And what I think has occurred, whether it's in our unemployment sector or whether it's a general response to the pandemic from the administration, when they declared the emergency on March 6th, went it alone. They're not working with the legislature. They're not working with business and industry. They're not working with local elected officials. Their needs, when you're facing a global pandemic, and there's a lot of war rhetoric that's being thrown around, and the idea that you combat this virus like we're in a war. If you're fighting a war, you fight a war with an army. You fight a war with a team. You need to be collaborative. That's not being done currently. And we're moving several pieces of legislation that would require, I joined with Senator Ahmet, Republican senator out of Lancaster, to put in a bill that would require a collaborative team be built, Democrats, Republicans, independents, private sector and public sector, working together to beat the virus and to do what I think we can do in Pennsylvania. We can save lives. We can socially distance. We can have those that are high health risk stay at home without jeopardizing the livelihoods and the businesses that have built this great Commonwealth. We can save lives and livelihoods.
And let's talk data. So, data collected from Luzerne County, how is it looking right now, gearing into the future?
Well, that's the issue, is we have not been a good Department of Health in gathering data and sharing data. They have not shared as much information as we would like on our nursing homes and what's occurring in our community. So having good data is so important. We hear about data-driven decisions, but we also hear about faulty data. We just had the largest healthcare system in Pennsylvania, the UPMC. They testified before the Senate Aging and Youth Committee, demonstrating that we can open up the economy safely, that we recognize that without a vaccine, we're going to have to live with this disease for a number of months, perhaps 12 to 18 months before we lock down a vaccine. So we have to be responsible. There are ways to mitigate, and look, we were successful. We banded together, united together as a Commonwealth to prevent the spread of this disease and the overwhelming of our hospital systems. We did it. We accomplished it. And we can move forward, open up the economy safely, make sure that we don't have an economic depression. We have approaching almost 20% unemployment. That's unacceptable. There's a human cost to that kind of economic devastation. There's a human cost and a health cost to the social isolation that's occurring because of this lockdown. We need to come together, the governor, the General Assembly, the judicial branch, all three branches of government working with local governments to help us beat the disease, help us find a vaccine, and help us open up this economy to make sure that we are not left with economic devastation for years to come in our communities in Greater Hazleton and in Luzerne County. We need to protect public health, we need to protect and save lives, but we also have to be committed to saving livelihoods.
Now to kind of wrap up this segment and bring everything together, with all that's been said, how could the governor be handling the crisis differently in terms of what do you feel would be the best way to not only mitigate the virus, but also bring Pennsylvania back to a new normal that we've all been hearing about and talking about?
I think the governor has been aggressive in terms of social distancing and getting that message out in the stay-at-home orders. But where I think there has been a failure is when you're in a crisis, when you're in an emergency, the two things you need to do more than any other, listen and collaborate. That's not occurring in Harrisburg. When the declaration was made in an executive order, there wasn't the collaboration with the General Assembly. The legislative leaders, Democrat and Republican, should be in the war room with the governor every day, developing a strategy, taking input from our healthcare professionals, from our scientists, and also from the leaders in our economy. They need all be at a seat at the table. We just had a member of the governor's workforce development board, a business man here in northeastern Pennsylvania, Chris Hackett, who resigned from the workforce development board because he clearly stated there was no collaboration. We can save the economy, we can save lives, but the only way you do that, you have to listen to the experts, both on the healthcare side and the side of the economy. We need to collaborate together. If we are in this together, we must act together. That's what we need more of from our politicians in Harrisburg and Washington.
Thank you so much for giving us the insight on your end of this crisis.
Thank you. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Most definitely. And thank you to everyone watching out there during this Community and You. Remember, as Senator John Udicek said, stay healthy and stay safe out there. We will get through this. We'll see you next time here on Wyln.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
We'll be ending tonight's special Memorial Day edition of Wyln News with a musical tribute to all branches of our United States military. We here at Wyln appreciate all who have served and those currently serving, as well as each and every hero who has made the ultimate sacrifice.
United States Air Force. United States Marines. United States Navy. United States Army.
That's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com, where you'll find the real facts about COVID-19 from LVHN or who's open for business. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV. Happy Memorial Day.
Hi, I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. Don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in the Hometown Village Square.
Life is different, but it hasn't stopped. So when curiosity turns into a rash, an LVHN video visit is just a click away. No matter what you need, whether it's a phone call with a primary care provider or a specialist, or you just need advice on your health, we have a virtual care option that's right for you. And the best part? You'll always be seen by a Lehigh Valley Health Network provider. Visit lvhn.org/virtual to learn more.